Hi there. I know it's been a while since my last video, and I apologize for possibly being a little lax in trying to get more videos out there. But, things have been pretty busy lately. I've got quite a few things going on not related to this photography channel. So the result is that it sort of got left behind for a while. Anyhow, I've got a couple of little topics to talk about today. I have many times talked about purposefully limiting yourself in order to make it a learning experience. Limiting yourself in order to get better at your craft. Now, I have to say, don't overdo that. The fact is that don't set artificial limits on yourself if you have an opportunity to do some sort of a different photo shoot. Let's face it, if it's day-to-day stuff, yes, set limits for yourself. It's something you can go back and do again. But if you're going on vacation, don't decide, oh, well, I'm only going to take this 9mm fisheye lens, and that's all I'm going to take photographs with during my entire vacation in order to learn well how this lens works. Well, what you'll learn after the first day is that the camera can stay in the hotel room because the phone is going to do a much better job now. So don't set those sorts of limits. These are artificial limits. These limits don't have any value at all. And as a result, they aren't really all that useful. The result is, if I'm going on vacation, I am going to take with me a zoom lens, one with a reasonable focal length for reasonable travel photography. Right now I have in my possession two similar lenses. But when I looked at them, I was going to sell one. When I looked at them, I said, no, this one serves a purpose. Right now, this is being videoed on an Olympus OMD EM1 using the 12 to 50 EZ lens. And here, of course, is my monitor. You might say, well, you can do that with any lens. Now I have the 24 to 70 Pro lens. Why not do it with that? Because it doesn't have a power zoom. I can reframe my image. I can move in and out. I can do things with the video right from the phone, so I don't have to be getting up and going to the camera to fix things. The result is I have a monitor and I have a remote control for my zoom. Now, what would I take on a trip? Well, the Pro model is obviously better in low light. It's an f2.8 right across the board. This EZ is extremely slow, 3.5 at the 12mm end, but that drops to a dismal 6.3 at the 50mm end. However, take that lens with me, take a fast prime, like say how about a 25mm f1.7. Take the two of those on vacation. I now have the out in the daytime lens, the zoom, and I have the, it's going to be dark, I have the 25mm. Yes, it's a little limiting, but it's not an artificial limit. It's a limit instead imposed by the equipment that I have. If I take that big Pro zoom, here's what I would lose. I would lose that extra 10mm. Not much. That's not a big deal. But I would also be carrying around a very big, very heavy, very expensive lens on vacation. On vacation, I don't want equipment that's going to bog me down in any way. This lightweight, easy lens, no problem. So, there I've set a limit, but it is a sensible limit. Well, I'm kind of just rambling now. So, before I end off this video, there is one other point I wanted to mention. I was reading some articles by people like David Duchemin lately. And one of the things that came across that really struck me is the fact that we tend to be living off likes these days. We tend to be making pictures of things because people like them. not because we necessarily feel that we are progressing as an artist in taking these pictures. You may take one picture that gets, hundreds, maybe thousands of likes. So you say, wow, I'll try that sort of thing again. And you take a similar picture, and it also gets thousands of likes. Recently, I saw the work of one photographer who is quite successful on Instagram, gets lots of likes. Looking through the images, though, I found something interesting. A friend of mine pointed it out, actually, and then I noticed it. He said, out of all these hundreds of images, there are only about 5 pictures. And sure enough, he was right. There were 5 distinct subjects. Now, by that I mean, the pose, the background, the things included in the image. There were only about 5 different ones. The rest were variations on those 5 themes. The result was that after a while you got the impression that this person is just doing the same thing over and over and over again because he's getting likes. I don't know if that really progresses you as an artist. It may get you a contract with sponsors, and you may get paid for it. And if that's what you want, that's probably a good idea. But when I look at it from my standpoint, I'm not likely to ever find myself in a situation where I'm going to get a sponsorship from anyone. So for me, doing things that will progress my photography, doing things that will make me happy, taking pictures that I like, I think that's a lot more important than taking pictures because they got likes on Instagram. And it's a trap we all fall into now and then. I found myself taking the same sorts of pictures a few times because people tended to like them. But then I quickly moved on to something else because I sort of got bored with them. And that's something to consider, guys. So, any takeaways from today? Well, I guess 2. Even though I talk a lot about limiting yourself, don't artificially limit yourself. Don't limit yourself when you have an opportunity to go out and try something new. Instead, take equipment that you feel you would actually use. Now, that doesn't mean load up a bag with everything you own, but it does mean don't stick to just, one prime lens or anything like that. Instead, make sure that you have a selection that will serve many purposes. And of course, the other thing, as you progress through your photography, as you create more and more images, make images for you. Don't make images for somebody else. Make images that you like. If you get likes, great. If everybody ignores them, that doesn't make you a failure. That just means that, well, the rest of your audience haven't caught up with you yet. Well, that's about it for now. I hope you get out and take some pictures. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel. If you think someone else might get something useful from this or any of my other videos, please share them. And of course, bye for now.